A communist can never think like a capitalist. A communist socialist can never understand that you willfully give anybody democracy. A communist and a socialist, accompanied by a nationalist, will never speak the mantra of free thinking, independent scenarios of governance, and enterprise that is allowed to gain free willingly capital. Let's cut to the chase here. The African National Congress has never been able to make its own mutation, to leave its fundamental DNA as an organization that is currently in a tripartite agreement still today with the South African Communist Party and COSATU, who are unionists. A party who currently sits with people that are 60, 70 and 80 years old. They come from that system. Let's call it straight. And we actually expect people that drank the communism mug, that sat next to the fire, reading the doctrines of Mao Zedong, Stalin and Lenin, and some of them even indoctrinating themselves with books like Mein Kampf, are coming to a democratic state in 94 surrenders that ideology. What a lot of rubbish. It is not true, and we are stuck in that mindset. The people that drank from that cool drink, like your Malema, let me tell you, Julius Malema is more of a capitalist in his own right than what he is a nationalist socialist on the outside. But the fact that he has decided that his Kool-Aid, his Pepsi Cola, is the fundamental basis that when he gets up and he says nationalization of banks, nationalization of the economy, taking land and distributing it. So every time they get up and they jolt up and sitting there with absolutely stunning small little red jackets and uniforms, and they promote South African business, the bloody overall he's wearing is probably made in China. So it is absolutely derogatory to the principled mindset to think that we can change an ideology of people who were lectured and created out of the fire of communism. Remember, the ANC was not supported by the West. People that supported this government were all communists. Their friends were China. Their friends were Fidel Castro. Their friends were Russia. Come on, are we so uneducated in history? As long as that system of a partnership with an SACP and a union is enthralled in one collective, I don't see a future of this country's economic growth. And that's a fact. I am open to a public debate. I might not like the methodology of Julius Malema, but if I had to say that I don't sometimes look at the machine that Julius created, the psychological barrier he has implanted in the scurry, that when you actually check a person in red, you automatically say that man's EFF, when in actual fact he's just wearing a ShopRite jacket and it's the same color. You cannot sit back and deny. The machines they create, half of it is money, the rest of it is character. What if Putin's right? What if Putin gets up and says, I have the right to establish my own economy? Forget about territory. Now, if I was the person in this country standing up as leadership and certain people pray I don't, because it will be a total different South Africa. We will no longer be abused. We will not bring water pumped and filled chickens from Brazil. We will stimulate the economy. And we will make this country competitive by going to the farmer and telling him, this is how we are going to help you. There's no one that goes and says that the 3-year moratorium on paying debt of land and debt of income to plant, that you will get a piece of freedom and a rebate for 3 years. There's no one that says we will take Calvinia lamb to the market of Abu Dhabi and as a government support you to put South African lamb first. Why don't we do it?
That's the question.
I'll tell you why. We don't have the guts, we don't have the authority, and we don't have the will to stand up against world markets. When you look at politicians and you derive the 400 who sit within those benches, do me a poll and ask how many ran a business. How many of them knows about supply, demand? How many of them knows about the income and expenditure? How many of them understand what is willful marketing? What is exposure? What is cost effectivity? What is debt? And what is relief? Yet you ask them to make laws about industry. No, wait a minute. To talk of a horse, to write of a horse, and to bloody ride a horse are three different things. Go to war, if necessary, with opposing countries to put your product. People live on fishing rights, yet we sell it to China. We don't bargain. It's time that we say, no problem, fish our waters, but you will build the canning plant. You will build the factory for assembly in this republic. You will employ 100 people and not one of them They will be South African. You go to the world and you tell them, what do you think of Africa? So they will go to India, how are you doing? And then they'll go to China, and they'll go to America, welcome. They'll go to Europe and they'll go, guten Tag, wie geht's da? And then there's an African and they'll go, shame, you made it. This is true. Am I lying? This is the national opinion of Africa. Begging bowl. What if you remove one hand? Why do we not go from aid to trade?
Of course.
It's one hand. They want us here. They want anarchy. They want poverty. They want us to be at the begging bowl. They want our oil. They want our steel. They want our gold. They want our diamonds. Yet they degrade us to junk. Funny. So you tell us that we are not liquid, we are not tradable, maar jy vat ons stap. The time has come from aid to trade. No international trade can be done if you do not walk away with something equitable. And what is it? The world market has changed and this country fluctuates between West and East every time a new president takes over. Yes or no? Sure. BRICS. The battle of the world, not at war yet, but at economic competition, has begun. We are trying to find the middle path. Which one should we go for? So we have Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's who they are. Look at the current stance in Russia. Who is standing with Putin? Well, it's BRICS. What if he's right? No, you've got to go there. You cannot just stand and say, what if he's wrong? What if he says, I'm not going to be bullied? He will not put NATO next to me as a neighbor. We're quick to forget, hey? We're quick to forget that America was about to go to war because people put missiles in Cuba. No? Was Kennedy not preparing for the Cuban Missile Crisis? But you don't want to agree that there should be a possibility. Putin finds him in the same seat. It doesn't suit you, does it? So let's quickly go with it, Maya. Because everybody wants to know what's my opinion of Russia and Ukraine. What if Putin's right? What if Putin gets up and says, I have the right to establish my own economy? Forget about territory. What if China, through Xi Jinping, turns around and goes, I back Russia? Oh. And India says, I'm in. Have you calculated the populace of just those three countries? Russia, China, and India? When we sit back and we say to ourselves that we should arrest Vladimir Putin, you have totally drunk a substance which must be illegal. So we've got this massive ideology. Ons gaan hom moer. This bear is going to be incarcerated. Let me quickly tell you. You incarcerate a guy like that. We don't even have a navy to protect us if Mozambique attacks us with a canoe tomorrow. And you want to arrest the world power? Jy's Murtu. I am telling you, the efforts that we should take today is to stop crime, eliminate gangsterism, lock up the looters, send to jail the people that are corrupt before you want to go arrest bears and chop off Chinese dragon heads. This country needs to go back to basic food, security, justice, job, and dignity. And if you can give those 5 things to a society, you will have a society that we can be proud of. Because if you create a just society with a justice system that works, policing that implements, and correctional services that correct something for a change, you will have a fundamental basis where society can believe that they are safe again. And then at the same time, you will create a systemic system where infrastructure and investment will flourish. This country needs jobs, but it doesn't have a conducive environment to seduce, to seduct, to bring in the people that will say, I am prepared to put my money down and I will do it following. This country does not need a war combat revolution. It needs a revolution of ideology, a revolution of hope, and a revolution that the future will come. And if not today, it will come by the following generation, who believes that this country is better united than divided.
Divided, exactly.